Rock and roll, buddy. We're going to do a quick little, we're going to do a little educational video every day for about 5 minutes on a certain indicator. And today is what we've chosen. We're going to start with the free chart. Okay, and we're going to start with our alpha trading, alpha volatility percentage. First off, what is alpha volatility percentage, right? The alpha volatility percentage indicator, it's displaying the percentage of days over the past year that were below the current historical volatility level. Okay, do you understand that? So when the AVP is 90%, historical volatility is telling you that it traded below the current level, 90% of the data over the past year. Okay, when the alpha volatility percentage is 10%, it's telling you that the historical volatility traded below the current level 10% over the last year's data. All right, and now the white candles, let me see, what are those percentages? The white candles are telling you volatility is below 70%. The yellow candles are telling you volatility is between 70 to 80%. The orange candles are telling you volatility is between 80 and 90%, and the red candles are telling you that volatility is between 90 and 100%. And there is a built-in moving average. You can set it, a lot of people set it to just a 1, so it hugs the candles, so you can really see when there's expansion and contraction. Other people use it so when the volatility crosses outside the MA, that's when they'll take a move. And the flashes are telling you when volatility has dropped below 10%. The lighter one, the lighter color is, or the darker colors are telling you, hey, we just dropped below 10%. When you get a real solid green one, it's telling you we're bottomed out at 0%. Okay, so this is how this indicator is used. MJ, questions?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, there's only 3 things involved here. You've got 3 signals. Yep. Right? You've got your volatility bars, you've got the moving average, and you've got your flashes. So when you go into the settings, what are our options to change this up, or is it customizable? What do we have available to us on this indicator? Because essentially this is your foundation of volatility trading, and Scott went over a lot of the previous opportunities there on the free chart to pull that thing up. And we have a ton of tools that are available on this free chart, but this is the basis of that. So let's look, what are our options here on what we can do with this thing?
For sure. Well, obviously the first is source. You really don't, now you can play with it, right? You can play with the source, but really the only indicator when you start messing with the source of this, you are going to start to source that indicator. You can either do it on an open, a high, a low, a close, a high, low, a high, low, a high, low 2, then you got high, low, close 3, open, high, low, close 4, and then it's going to show you indicate all the other indicators, right? Which it's not going to pull up the Pearson correlation. But look, you can literally source the AVP to the RRSI unsmooth line, the RRSI smooth line, or you can do it to one of the SD bands, which that makes no sense. Now, people like to play around with this stuff. Hey, this is why you can change these settings. If you see if you can find something interesting, right? If you want, source the HVP to another indicator. Now, trust me, we've done a lot of this already. And if there's something to be done, we have already figured a lot of it out, and we talk about it already. So to be honest, I would not mess with the source
if you're brand new,
AVP.
just keep this on close and don't do anything crazy there.
Yeah, don't do anything crazy. This is for when you start getting a little more advanced.
Now there's something there. There's a little something right below that to the left. You'll see you can click on and off on the allow repainting. Just keep that off, folks. Basically, all that is when the candle's moving up and down. Okay, like right now he's on a 4-hour candle, right? So as that 4-hour candle is progressing, the indicator, if you have that painting on, you're going to see every little move within that 4-hour candle, and but you don't really want that. At the end of the day, you have to wait till a candle closes to get the proper read on what's going on there. So just keep that unchecked.
Yep, 100%. That's why we have that in there, right? That's why we have that in there. And then the next here, right, we've got a little setting, AVP column style options, right? I mean, show AVP. Well, I don't know why you would turn it off. Hey man, some people might. This is when it comes into where, hey, I just want to use the MA. And when you see this MA going up, volatility is expanding, right? But this is all just to practice and do things.
Yeah, maybe. And you know what? I've done this in the past too, where I've just had the flashes on. I've overlaid the flashes on a different indicator because I just wanted to know when volatility was low. So, it's a great point. Yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff with it. Yeah,
you can overlay these flashes on price action, and it looks real cool. If you do it right now, then you got one big flash going through price action down through the HVP. It's pretty cool, actually. So the first setting there on style options, AVP plot width, right? So what's that do? That pretty much just changes the plot width. There's nothing, and really is where you're going to see that is when you turn it into a line. You gotta remember that. That's what that's mainly for. If you have the HVP in a line, you can change that plot width and it'll thicken the line. So
and you'll see that in the style setting when we go over that.
Yep, 100%. And then there is a AVP border that you can turn on when it's in line form. What does that border do? It puts a black line around to kind of separate it out from any other parts of the indicator, so you can really see it.
Yeah, and that's actually that border can be painted any color, so it's not just black. So it's a really customizable thing. That's the great thing about these indicators. We listen to everybody, and there's stuff that would drive us nuts in the past sometimes because you can't make the coders do what you want them to do. But we're open to any changes or anything that makes sense, and if it can be coded, and it's a good idea, we're open to it. I'm not saying it's going to happen, whatever you want. But certainly we've done things like this, and so we try to make these indicators really customizable.
100%. And here's where you actually change the options. Right now it's in columns, right? You want it in a line form? There you go. Now it's in a line, and now you can change the AVP border plot width and the AVP plot width, right? But we highly suggest just leave it on columns.
Yeah, if you're new, keep it on columns.
Yeah,
don't get fancy if you're new.
Yep, 100%. And then obviously we got the AVP settings, right? With the length, the look back, and the percentage. And now when I talk about, like, I have, let's go over here to my other chart. Well, there you are. You're 2 over. There you are. So when I talk about having 3 AVRs on here, right, which is the upgraded version of that indicator we're looking at, and we got some cool color options, all kinds of fun shit. This is my low length, and look, I use square roots. Why do I use square roots? It's a numbers thing for me. I'm big into numerology when it comes to trading, and I like to break down numbers to a single digit. And when those single digits are adding up to a 3, a 6, or 9, or a master number of an 11, a 22, a 33, or a 44, I found gold, and there's something to those settings. Most square roots, 525, 636, 749, 981, add those numbers up and then add all the numbers together singularly and look what the totals of all those square roots are. 3, 6, or 9, right? Most of the time. This is why I use square roots, one of the main reasons. But that's why, like, this low length indicator sometimes is on a 525, sometimes it's on a 636. My mid-length indicator is always on a 981. And then just go up in square roots. This is super high. This is the one I really don't like to give the number out. But guys, it's square roots. Start changing the settings right here. 981, right? That's my middle number. Just start going up in square roots. Look at my chart. Do we know how to reverse engineer things? It's really simple. Just start changing the settings. You already know I use square roots. Start going up. Right? Is it 10, 100? So on and so forth, right up the line. You're going to find it's a pretty high one. That's what these settings are for, right? Your annual look back, that's going to take that many bars. People get confused. What is annual look back? That is taking into account all of the history 30 bars back. You know, some people like it on 365. Some people like it on freaking 30. I usually keep all my look backs on 30 when it comes to indicators like this. But it's simple. Those are simple settings. 981. Use square roots when you're playing around. I'm not telling you have to. You're going to find out real quick, though. There's a reason why we use square roots with these settings 100%. This is something, because there's some other indicators out there, right? Open source that have alerts, but you can't change them. And when I was talking about the dark colored green, the light colored green, here's the settings. Alert 1 is the darkest green line that will show you a flash. And it happens when the average percentage drops to a 10%. Alert 2 pops up when it hits a 6. Alert 3 pops up when it hits a 5. Alert 4 hits up when it's a 3. And then alert 5 pops up with the flash when the volatility's 1 or 0. Okay.
And again, that's the height of the columns. So in percentage wise.
And here's something I would highly recommend if you're new to volatility trading. Take every one of these settings and put it on a 1. Trust me right now. The reason why a lot of us use this on a 10 is because I understand that when that percentage is at a 10%, hey, that can still contract. What is the break in correlation telling me? If you just get down to a 10% and you're like, okay, it's flashing, it's at a 10%.
I better get in a trade.
Yeah.
No.
So say you go, hey, it's contracting, it's at a 10%, and it's negatively correlated. So hey, that means it's going to start expanding, and it's negatively correlated. I'm going to get in a short. Wrong. It can contract 10 more percentage points, and if it's negatively correlated, price action is going to walk up. So this is why when you first use this indicator, change them all to 1 until you understand the breaks in correlation and how that from a 10%, it can still contract. I'm not saying it won't turn around and expand from 10, but until you learn the breaks in correlation, you could get yourself in trouble.
Yeah, the idea here behind it is that the volatility, when you see those flashes, the volatility is getting low. So it should start to get your attention. That's the purpose.
Yes, 100%.
Doesn't mean.
And there's only one more setting, right? The alpha volatility percentage, SMA. You can turn it off. You can turn it on. Remember I just said, some people, let's take it down to a 1. Some people like to put it on a 1, and it just hugs the columns where you can plainly see, right? It's green or red. If it's green, it's expanding. If it's red, it's contracting. What have we built into the alpha volatility radar? You see these little arrows? The arrows are telling you if the columns are expanding or contracting. That's why this alpha volatility radar, once you learn how to read this basic AVP and the breaks in correlation, and then you see this indicator and all the functionality, hey man, we're here for you, right? And we made it very expensive because these indicators are so powerful, and we're getting ready to publish the panel that goes along with it, okay? But that is basically all there is to the AVP. You know, I hope that everybody understands better now how to use that indicator, how to use the settings. But
click on the style.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. Yeah, and just color changes, right? Color changes. And right here, You see this AVP border? Only use if AVP plotted as a line, right? So usually is what I do. I usually have it off. Right now I have the indicator labels turned off. But if you have these indicator labels turned on, right, when you're first learning, there's going to be a label that says AVP border, and it's huge, and it just sticks out, and you don't need it because you're not even in line form. And here's the moving average border, right? I never use the borders. I don't really need them. I got a keen eye to look at this stuff, and I do have them turned. Yeah, boom. You see it turn on and off? Look at the boom, boom, boom. There's a little black border that goes around it.
Yep, you can make that border white. You can make it any color you want.
Yep, you can make that border color any. You can make the columns any color you want. You can make the SMA any color you want. You can make the background flashes any color you want. You can make the zero line down here at the bottom any color you want. This indicator is totally customizable for you guys. Totally customizable. But yeah, that's pretty much, that was the inputs style. I mean, it's pretty simple. What else, MJ?
Click on that visibility. It's pretty simple. You really don't even ever go here. I mean, it's always clicked on with everything. But basically, this will let you show this indicator on different time frames and stuff, and not on other ones. So you don't have to worry about it. It's really not a big deal.
Yep. No, not really. Simple indicator. And what do we do? What do we do with volatility indicators that by themselves are not directional indicators? This AVP is not, I cannot stress enough, this AVP is not a directional indicator. What makes it a directional indicator? A Pearson correlation coefficient and those breaks in correlation. That's what creates this whole unit, then becomes a directional indicator. That's why you will only see, especially on my charts, you will only see Pearson correlation coefficients under indicators that are not directional, right? Our alpha variance, this is not a directional indicator. It is just showing you when variance, right? What is variance? It's the spread of data around the mean. It's either moving away from the mean up through standard deviation levels or coming back towards the mean. It's the correlation coefficient that makes it directional. You see this big move right here? Let's highlight this real quick. Put a vertical right there. So if this variance were to start taking off and you're just using variance, you have no idea what direction you have. Now how do you, let's see here, I'll give you another example of a nice down move when the variance starts to pop. Let's see, one right here. Boom. So right, variance has passed the MA, it's moving to the upside. This was a little bit of a bigger move, obviously. So how do you know what direction? Well, because this variance starts to, the data starts to move away from the mean, and it's negatively correlated. So price action is going to move down. Not sometimes, every time. Here, where we have this big move of variance, right? The data is moving big time away from the mean, and it's positively correlated. We get a massive move to the upside, right? This is a powerful free indicator chart. You guys, there's people out here charging money for stuff like this, right? We're not doing that. We're supplying this. We know people, some people don't have a lot of money, man. Some people are like, oh, I want to become a good trader. God, I wish I could afford these tools. Hey, man, here's a free chart from Alpha Trading. Get it.
Hey,
get it done.
Before you move on here, can you show just maybe with some of those flashes on the AVP, how to read it just on a basic level?
Yeah, totally. Here, let me get my vertical back out. Ooh, right back about there. Yep. Let's get another vertical out here. Oop. Pretty much the same as the variance, right? This is showing you an expansion. This is showing the volatility, right? It's moving away from the mean. It's expanding. Do I have that on? I sure do. Let me see here. Where's that move? Yeah, that was a tricky one. That's that. I'm not going to use. right there. I'm trying to find a nice down move. There's one right there. Actually, it's right there. There we go. So you can see as soon as that volatility starts to expand. But look, I'm on a 4 hour, right? I'm not trading this chart. I mean, I probably should have went down to a 15-minute, like I will real quick. Let's go down to a 15-minute. There we go. Let's bring some of this price action in a little bit.
Yeah, when you get more experienced on how to read these, you can read any time frame. But it's easier to learn where you can see these moves on the lower time frame.
Big time. See a lot of down moves too.
While Bilbo's setting that up, the other thing is too, you know, we're going to show you here. We're obviously on lower time frames, right? So your trades, this is more of a scalping type trading formula here, you know. So if you're looking at this and you're like, well, I want to be a swing trader, I want to do this. Well, this is not the setup for you, you know, for those types of trading. So just know what you're looking at here. You know, that's the biggest problem when you're working with people is, you know, you don't know what they're thinking. So we're trying to teach you here a little bit of a lower time frame, more of a scalping type trading situation here.
But but that being said, it can be used. You can trade this stuff on a daily, a weekly, a 4 hour. But that being said, you have to be able, if you want to swing trade a 4 hour, a 12 hour, a daily, you have to be able to drop down through time frames to get your entries.
That's right. You'll come down to the lower time frames to get an entry. Correct?
Yes.
But you're just 100%. Not going to blindly trade a 4 hour chart. You're going to have to go down and look for those entries and exits.
And so I'm talking earlier about breaks and correlation and volatility expansion, right? Let's just go with the breaks and correlation with expansion. We got a flash in volatility, right? As soon as it starts to expand, you can see the correlation was heading back up, created that little up valley, correlation break back down to the downside, negatively correlated. On the 15-minute, we literally get a move $1,300 15-minute candle. Okay, that's the first one. We get another flash. We get an expansion in volatility. Correlation was negatively correlated, but the slope started heading back positive. Then immediately when the volatility expanded, breaking correlation back negative. We get 3 15-minute candles, 49.5. About $800 of price action. Here we go again. We got another flash. We get another expansion in volatility. You can, if you're paying attention, you can see correlation was heading down, but correlation broke real fast, created a little uptick. You can see it right on the line, and then correlation breaks right when the volatility expands and the MA starts going up, negatively correlated. We get price action move. Yeah, that's right up 9K, $1,000 move in price action, 3 15-minute candles. That's 45 minutes, $1,000 move.
Now you hear him talking. He's taking profits. Okay, we're taking profits on these moves. That's why I'm saying it's a lower, it's mostly a lower time frame trading strategy right here. It doesn't mean you can't use the higher time frames. You're going to come back down here to look for those entries. But right here, he's talking about, hey, we're taking our profits. That's what he means by taking profits.
And I don't swing trade. I know, MJ. No, a lot of us, we don't swing trade. We take our profits on these lower time frames. But I'm not saying you can't. If you want to swing trade 4 hour, 12 hour, daily, you got to learn how to drop down through the time frames to get those entries. But if you're already down here getting entries, take your damn profit. You get this nice down move. I'm bearish. I'm going to swing trade this shit for a few days. You're done. Lost all your profit. So here's recent, right? Volatility is flat. We got a flash. When volatility expands, it was heading positively correlated. Breaking correlation, negative, boom. And we literally get 4. That's about $1,100 in price action in about an hour and 15 minutes, right? But the way I trade, I'm probably out right here on this candle. But am I out? Or number one, I trade my chart. And when you trade this, the coefficient of variation, the Z-score, right? 15 minute. Let's see where that move is at. Was that a little booger? It's right here, wasn't it? Yep, that expansion right here. I'm using all indicators. That was the move right there. Boom, boom, boom. So look what's going on here. That shift. Yep, I would have been out. I would have been out of the trade. Why? Well, look, you're having an outlier or two, right? And boom, then it loses its outlier. I am out right in this range somewhere. And look at the next candle. Hey, you lost half your profit if you don't take it. Look at that wick, right? So why not take the profit at the bottom right there of that candle? So this is how we trade. This is how we trade at Alpha, right? We take the profits.
Show them how you could use the volatility when it's rising, and then when it maxes out, as potentially where you could get out of a trade as well.
With like a volatility grade.
Yeah.
Things that, yeah, same thing here. Here, let me put a vertical. Let's see what was going on.
Even though it's not part of the free chart, you have to step up to get this. But
yes. Whoops. Let me get a vertical real quick. We're going in overtime too. Except a smoky today. Smoky, very smoky, very unhealthy outside right now. Now, why that? Come on here. John's symbol cross it. Should be popping up on both sides, you little bugger. Drives me crazy. Yeah, there it is. Boom, right there. So, let's see. Yes, let me turn off so we get a good look here. Let me turn correlation off since we're just showing. Where are you? CC, I think it's just the inside. Oh, I got to turn off the plot too. There we go. So this little skinny line, this little red and white line, this is alpha volatility. That is a combination of implied volatility. So why would I want to take profit right down here at the bottom here? Because look at these next two 15-minute candles. Like I said, look at the wick. You lose almost half of that profit. Right when that volatility, right when that alpha volatility percentage peaks out at 100%, so is alpha volatility grade. That is telling you right there, as soon as that peaks out, you're taking profit on that candle right there, right? You could, that would have probably scared the shit out of you because that price did go up. Chances are I would have been out the candle before. I would have been out at the bottom right there, big time, because I'm already seeing on higher, let's see, let's check this out real quick. The more I look at these AVRs, I might have stayed in all the way to here, to be honest, but that's for a later date to explain to you what I'm seeing on these. This is why I have 3 AVRs, pretty much telling me to stay in the trade. We still had expansion going, and it was still negatively correlated to that point right there, which you could have stayed into that wick. You could have got a big trade right there. About $1,200 actually. Yeah, hopefully that explained it. That's what we use on the AVR, the alpha volatility grade. When they peak out together, it's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. Yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. We went over by about 15 minutes. It's all good. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, right? Number one, subscribe to our channel. We're still fairly new. You're going to want to know when our videos come out, though. We're going to start doing a lot of analysis here, little short 5-10 minute analysis on Bitcoin, and some of the other hot coins like Cardano. We don't mess around with Ethereum. We might do some on. We can do analysis on stocks. If you want to see some analysis done on a stock, put it in the freaking stream chat. Right, and when I come in, I'll see it. I'll do a analysis on it. I usually don't touch Forex or gold and silver. It's not that I can't. You can trade any market with these indicators. I like to do analysis on highly volatile assets. Unfortunately, Forex is like watching paint dry. Gold and silver, like watching paint dry. And one of the highest, with the gold and silver is the most manipulated assets out there. And why everybody wants to buy gold and silver is beyond me. Right. These are the same people that just had to keep their record store open. I'm gonna keep this record store open. I'm not going anywhere. All this digital media isn't gonna put me out of business. Oh shit, I'm out of business. Right. I mean, we're in the digital age. What's in the digital
the
age?
records have had a resurgence here, but
Yeah.
it's just like
Anyway.
there's still horses, you know, but we've moved on to automobiles.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We're in digital currencies, man. It's highly volatile. So all that being said, the link to our Discord's in the description of the videos. You got to come into the Discord, right? This is where all the educational material is piled in. You got to do a few little things to verify yourself, and then we'll let you in the main server. I want to thank everybody for watching live in the Discord as usual. And yeah, that being said, wherever you live on this big, beautiful blue marble, have a wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. I'll see you time coming to you from smoky Carson City, Nevada. See you guys.